What's going on, my friends? I'm making a little video today because I'm sure there's some things going on in the news that you just have not heard or, read in this case. Most of the things that I get are from newspapers like the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to make this video occasionally. We're going to call it Priceless News. How about that? My name is Edward Price. So we're going to call this Priceless News. So I'm going to start by covering a few bullet points to get things going here. So for starters, a federal judge, doesn't say who, a federal judge ruled on Thursday that the Small Business Association must release detailed information on where the money went. And by money, we're talking about the PPP stimulus package that was released back in, I don't know what, April. Trillions of dollars. And seems to be a lot of question about where the money went. So the SBA, particularly responsible for distributing that to small businesses and so forth, they're going to have to answer to those questions. Secondly, I might remember back in 2016, there was a couple of guys who hacked into the government database to get some quarterly information on some inside trader stunts that they pulled and made a lot of money, actually billions of dollars. But they were only required to pay a $450,000 fine, and now they live free in the Ukraine. For some reason, people like to go to the Ukraine. Maybe we'll have to make a trip there someday and see what's so fantastic about the negative below zero temperatures of Ukraine. And next on, new coronaviruses. Yep, that's right. Coronaviruses. So what's a coronavirus? A coronavirus, from what I understand, I'm not a doctor, but I have been doing a lot of reading, and from what I understand, a coronavirus is the same thing as the flu or SARS, and apparently COVID-19 is a coronavirus. So this is what they tell us, so this is all we can repeat, right? We repeat what we're told. But now the talking point is coronavirus, new coronavirus cases. So this is a true statement when they say top 100,000, but they're saying that the reason why the numbers are going up is because of something called pandemic flu. So let's take the word pandemic. It's Pandemic. If you take the dim out of the middle and pull the other two parts together, it says panic. That's right. If you take the dim out of it, it's panic. Anyway, coronavirus is key word in the reports that we're hearing because there's a lot of coronaviruses out there. So this is something we've been dealing with every year. So is 100,000 coronaviruses really that big of a deal? Especially with, they're saying a 96.4% recovery rate. I don't know. Damn panic, pandemic, you call it. But I'll tell you, I had COVID-19. So when I went to get tested, I asked the doctor, so what are you going to give me for that? And they said, go home and let it run its course. And I said, well, should I call my doctor? They said, you can if you want to. So I did. And my doctor said, same thing. Go home, let it run its course. So isn't this the way we've been dealing with pretty much every kind of flu, cold, whatever we've had our whole lives as kids? We take some NyQuil, take some Mucinex. Now that's the star treatment. Mucinex is really great. It actually worked well for me while I was sick for 4 days. and let it run its course, folks. We're in a pandemic fatigue mode. Everybody's damn panicking, I think. Now, something new on that subject as far as coronavirus goes. We have a gentleman in St. Louis who was an election official who tested positive on October 30th with coronavirus, or played off to be COVID-19. But no big deal. He went to work anyway, even though he was instructed to quarantine. He went against the instructions and he went to work. That's right, at the polls on election day. And now there's some concern for about 2,000 people that he exposed. Well, guess what? Since election day, this poll worker died. That's right, he died. But don't worry. The spokesperson, I believe her name was Mary Edner, something like that. She said they still haven't determined the cause of death. I have to laugh about that one. But on the lighter side of things, getting away from coronavirus, unemployment decreased about 538,000 jobs, and apparently that's no big deal because you won't hear that in the news. That's why I'm doing the priceless news, so you can hear some things that are going on that you're probably not going to hear in the real news. We got the election blues going on, and even though there's like 99% of the votes in a lot of these states that are being hung out to dry, where they can't seem to count very fast, there's like 10,000 point spread, or I think the most I might have saw was maybe 108,000 in Michigan, I think. But in like Nevada, I think there's like a 4,000 vote spread. Come on, folks. It's not that difficult to create a small amount of ballots. But from what I heard, now I'm not saying that it's true, but from what I heard, somebody put a watermark on the mailed out ballots that were distributed. And so we're going to know the difference. There will be some pretty substantial evidence between the difference of the actual ballots that went out and the ones that might have been interjected, supposedly, if that's what happened. So we're going to, weigh on the side of, let's say, conspiracy, if that's what it takes to appease everyone. So, but something is there's definitely something going on here, folks. You don't just, if you're winning, let's say you're Joe Biden and you're winning, and why would you stop the count? Why would you stop the count and flood the election with these mail-in ballots? Or I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. But we're going to find out. Be patient. We're going to find out. Remember, it took 5 weeks in 2000 for us to find out what happened in Florida with the hanging Chad. So now we have this. And moving on to protests and Facebook, our big brother, the new big brother of America. And apparently Facebook is our daddy. They get to oversee what we do and what we don't do. And they don't have any problem with BLM. Antifa using their platform to organize protests, no problem. But a group of people put together a platform called Stop the Steal so that they could organize a protest outside of the election halls and headquarters and things in order to peacefully protest. Stop the Steal was taken down by our good friends at Facebook and Twitter and Instagram so that a protest could not be organized on their platforms. They didn't think it was good for us to hear a protest about stealing the votes. Yeah, that's right. Big Brother, full swing, in action, censoring our freedom of speech. This is America, people. This is what you are voting for. On the lighter side of things, the DOJ actually doing some work. They seized 1 billion in Bitcoins associated with the Silk Road. Now, if you don't know what the Silk Road is, in case you haven't heard about that in the mainstream, you probably haven't, because that's why I have the Priceless News, bring you things you don't usually hear about in the mainstream news. But the Silk Road was a online bazaar where you could buy drugs, created by a man by the name of Ross Ulbricht. And Ross Ulbricht is doing life, but that was been a couple of years now. They finally seized 1 billion Bitcoins associated with Silk Road, the DOJ. I wonder what they're going to do with those 1 billion Bitcoins. And today, in case you didn't notice, if you're not in the stock market, I highly recommend that you get on to Robinhood, something simple like that. You can download the app. You're going to get a free stock if you do that. And you can start investing in the stock market. It's not hard, and there's no minimum to invest. But today, something very unusual happened. Some marijuana stocks really, skyrocketed. Huge gains, like up in the 40% and 90% gains on some of these marijuana stocks. So if you want to know why marijuana stocks are taking off, there's 7 more states that legalized recreational and medicinal marijuana in the United States during this election. So if you're going to try to get into the stock market, maybe you're not pro marijuana, but you don't have to touch the stuff to buy the stock. Just saying. It's a good opportunity to get on board. It's not hard to find out which ones they are. One of the bigger ones is called Canopy. Apparently, Martha Stewart and Snoop Dogg got together and decided to use their gardening skills and their knowledge of the herb to open up a marijuana company, and it's called Canopy. I just think it's funny that Snoop Dogg and Martha Stewart are doing business on this level. But anyway, getting up on my 15-minute mark here. I'm going to cut it short, buy some stocks, and make some money, have some fun. And don't worry about Nancy Pelosi. She's getting a little bit of crap from her people, her lawyers, for losing a few seats. We're not going to rub that in too much, but even if Biden does win it, at least he's going to have a little bit harder time than he would have had if they would have stolen those seats from the Senate. And that's the Priceless News. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time. I don't know exactly now how often I'm going to do these, but We'll work on that and see how well it does. All right. Thank you very much for listening. Be well. Sing your favorite gospel song or something if you start to stress out about the election results. Or I recommend just turn the TV off and stop using your Facebook. There's plenty of other platforms out there where you can communicate with your friends, and don't forget to get yourself a VPN to protect your browser from these trolls monitoring what you post. We are living in very strange times, and Big Brother is out there. All right, be well, go fishing, go surfing, enjoy whatever you do, skateball, frisbee golf, get outside and enjoy it. God bless.